Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nada. First off, I do want to apologize for the delay of this video. It should have came last week. Unfortunately, I was having a few problems with my recordings and I lost some. So here it is. So this video, I'm going to be concentrating on the beginning of my spiritual awakening. Now, if you are or were like me, where you find yourself feeling a little lost or hopeless or let me just say this. This is where I was and what I was saying. Dang it, I messed up. The only chance I had of this life, and I messed up. I've had 2 failed marriages. I'm a single mom. I'm at school full-time at age 34. I'm living with my parents, and I'm not happy. I messed up. I'm out of time, and I'm not getting it back. I messed up. And I constantly compared myself to my 2 brothers because they're doing better. And so it was always that pressure on me of feeling like I need to catch up. I need to make up for this time where I messed up. And so it was pretty bad. I mean, I felt so much pressure and stress over my shoulders with just that thought of I'm out of time. You have one life to live and look what I did with it. Dang it. Okay. Another thing. The idea of losing my parents, I could cry and sob as if it just had happened. And I would always tell my mom specifically, take care of yourself because I'm jumping in that hole with you, woman. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do without you. Like, you are a big part of my life, which she is. And I will be completely lost. Like, you need to ask my brothers to put me on suicide watch. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. And so if you happen to find yourself saying one of those 2 things, then listen up, because I was there. Now, I can go back and I can remember when I was around 7 years old. And I asked my mom, Mom, is there truly nothing after death? Like you die and then there's just nothingness? And I would close my eyes and just pretend as if I had died. And it just felt so weird to feel like nothing, like, to be dead was such a weird thought to me. And also I grew up with the knowledge of, or with knowing that I had an older sister who passed away from meningitis at 5 months. So to me, death was always, I was always curious with it. And then I would be told stories about when Jesus returns, you know, they'll hand us our baby sister, good as new, and we would get to enjoy her then. So there were a lot of reasons why I was so curious about death. Okay, rewind back a year and a half ago, and I met my love, and all he had to say was Dolores Cannon and what she did as her job and what she was able to, what information she was able to bring back to us. And she's written books and all these great things. And this came from a conversation where I was explaining to him how out of time I felt, how trapped, how I had messed up this lifetime, and now what am I going to do, you know? So Dolores Cannon, she is a hypnotherapist, or she was, I'm sorry, she's passed away. She was a hypnotherapist that was practicing in the 90s. Back when cigarette abuse was very popular, and so her main purpose of therapy was to hypnotize her patients into quitting smoking. But while she was in one of her sessions, she discovered that she was able to reach a more deeper level of our subconsciousness, and she calls this past life regression, where she was able to get her patients down to their past lives. Now, pause. In my religion, we don't believe in past lives, and death is just that. You're asleep and you feel nothing, hear nothing, sense nothing until Jesus returns. So I know this may sound a little crazy to you, especially if you were raised Christian or any religion for that matter. They don't believe in none of that. So I get it, and just hear me out, okay? I may have had the same questions you will have. And trust me when I say that they will all be answered in Dolores's book, um, Life After Death. And as a Seventh-day Adventist, trust me, it was hard for me to feel that what I had been told may not be all accurate. Um, but pretty much, we've, as humans, have decided to come to Earth to learn. You know, that's why life is hard here on Earth. Like, it's one of the hardest schools, they call them. It's one of the hardest schools of the universe, and we chose to come here. So when we're going through problems, when we're going through troubles, and it's so nice when you have knowledge of the purpose of coming to Earth and the plan and contracts and all this good information that you'll find in her book, because there's absolutely no way I can cover all of that accurately. There's just no way. She talks about everything. So honestly, I'm not too worried about not getting too much into detail, because I already know that some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, she's crazy, we lost another one. So it's going to be that person that's ready to hear this information. And you'll know if you're ready to hear this information, because you'll go and grab and download the book to listen or to read. But that's where I got most of my answers. That's where I got comfortable with the idea of having past lives, with the idea of, you know, there being more after death, that we're not just going to be in a hole waiting for Jesus' return. So I'm not, and because I can't, I'm not going to get into those details. So I'm just going briefly over what the purpose of life is and why that burden just fell off my shoulders. So we don't have one life to live. It's not YOLO like we've been telling each other. So that already takes off some of the pressures. So where it's like, oh, okay, I might get to try this again later, and I'm just here to learn. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I'm not going to judge myself for being 34 years old and, you know, living with my parents and, you know, have 2 kids from 2 marriages. And I'm not going to beat myself up about that, because we came here to learn. We came here to learn and to experience things that we feel are gonna advance us spiritually, or allow us to help someone else through our experiences, because we know we can handle things. So it really helps to know what the purpose of this earth is. Now, if you're questioning already, you know, the idea that we come to Earth for a plan, with a plan, and, you know, it's one of the hardest schools. Well, I mean, there's a lot of information out there where even the government is deciding to start releasing certain information, because it's just so hard to withhold it, and because it's just the truth. So you'll believe what you want, but like I said, it's only the people that are ready to hear this information that will really take it in and either read more into it, do your own research. I mean, of course, I absolutely suggest that you do your research, because it's not until you go and find out and get all of your questions answered that you'll feel more comfortable with the idea. Plus, I mean, I've already started to live life differently because of what I know now, and I'm seeing things, I'm getting things that I would have never thought I would be getting. So, just try it out. Just try it out. I'm not going to get too much into it, but another thing is when Dolores explains in her book, because mind you, she has thousands of patients, okay? She has thousands of patients that she was able to have in her sessions and record. And if you don't believe about, if you're not a very big believer on hypnotherapy, well, she explains that for those that are having a hard time believing that there is something after death, well, then there are thousands of books of near-death experience, NDEs. So in order for you to start getting comfortable with the idea, maybe start listening or reading books about near-death experiences. Now, these are just regular people, Christians, you know, I've seen a lot of Christian stories that go through this near-death experience, and they see things. So at one point, I feel like we have to open our box and just see the information and listen to the information and just see where it goes and see if that resonates well with you in your soul. Because I felt like that's when I first heard this information, I just felt so relieved, and I felt like that's the information I was waiting for. Like that's what I needed to hear, and now I'm okay, and I'm on a better way, on a road for happiness and success. So if you have any doubts, then that's fine. You know, if you don't wanna disturb your beliefs, I get it. I truly get it, and you're not going to offend me at all. But God knows I am the happiest I ever been in my life for many reasons, but that is definitely one of them. That pressure that I was feeling of, messing up my life, it's completely gone. That sadness I was feeling about losing any loved ones is completely gone. I'll explain why now. Okay, so if you were to listen to the near-death experiences, most of them, if not all, will be very, very similar to what I'm about to explain. And Dolores Cannon has thousands of stories as well where her patients go through past lives, and they also have confirmed that this is the same things they see. So I'm going to go over in the next few minutes what you would expect if you were to either get to a near-death experience or pass away, or your loved ones. And it's given me peace of mind, and I'm no longer afraid of death, and I no longer feel like I'm gonna lose my soul or lose my heart or lose my life if I lose a loved one at this point. All right, so first off, yes, there's a light. There will be a light. Wait, one second. First, I want to say that everyone will probably experience something a little different based on your beliefs. So if you believe that you've been a very bad person and you're going to go to hell, you will be experiencing a little taste of hell until you discover that that's not reality, or that's not what you wanted, and you have the control of changing that. So I just wanted to say that in case someone's like, no, I've had a near-death experience and I discovered something terrible. Well, we all have our beliefs, like, oh man, when I'm going to heaven, or oh man, I'm going to see the devil, I've been bad. So whatever you're putting in your head, you're going to get a little glimpse of that when you pass away. If you don't have an idea and you're just a normal person, then this is what you might experience. So there's a light. And then when you reach the light, you're going to be met with your guardian angels or your spirit guide or your loved ones that have already passed. Now, for the people that have near-death experiences, obviously they didn't completely cross over. So sometimes you will have the option to stay there or to come back to Earth. Now, when you're there, and everyone explains this in their stories and experiences, it's a beautiful place. You are so happy. You feel so much love, so much peace. What you're seeing is nothing but just beautiful lights. And you feel nothing but peace and happiness, and you don't want to come back. So for those that do come back, they really thought about it. And there's stories out there where people have, been in a near-death experience, and they told the guardian angel that they didn't want to go back, that they'd just rather be there because it was just so beautiful and so nice and so peaceful. And in reality, that's home to us. We go back home once we pass away, and then we learn, we rest, and then we come back and try again. So it's home to us, and when you're there, you're not going to want to leave. So when I hear these things, and like I said, if you're really interested in this, you're going to get the book, because she has a lot of stories, and she records her sessions, so she's getting verbatim for what information she's getting with the patients. Mind you, her patient is under hypnotherapy. I mean, they're being hypnotized, or they're hypnotized, but they're speaking to an elder. I think that's what she calls them, an elder, which is someone from the other side. She's speaking to that person through her patient. So like just the language that's coming from them, and them trying to explain it in our language, because our language isn't sufficient to explain the beauty of the other side. So for those who have the option to stay or come back, I'll explain now for one of the examples of one of the stories I did hear. It was a woman who was getting surgery. She was having surgery, but somehow her heart stopped. And she was speaking to her, guardian angels. And they told her, it's like, yeah, you can stay or you can go. But here's what your mom is going to look like if you do stay. And they showed her an image of her mother crying. And they told her that because, you chose to stay, she's not going to be destroyed, and everyone around her will be destroyed. So because your father loves her and she's suffering, he's going to be destroyed. And then they asked her again, do you still choose to stay or go? She's like, I still want to stay. They'll understand. They'll understand when they come here why I chose to stay. I want to stay. So then they show her a image of her husband. Her husband was saying, I never knew I loved her, which indicated how their relationship was at that time, but he was actually going to be suffering if she passed away. And they asked her again, do you still want to go or stay? Do you still want to stay or do you want to go? And she still wanted to stay. Then they told her, all right, you can stay, but your kids are going to need you around because they'll be all right. Your kids will be all right, but they would have done better if you were there. But because you're choosing to stay, you're going to have to be right, like on the line of you're in and out. You're partly on the earth and you're partly on the other planet. In the other place. So she's like, well, if I can't completely stay here, I might as well just go back and be more helpful there, in person than I could be in spirit. So she chose to go back. But she knew that she ever came across a near-death experience, she did not want to be resuscitated. She wanted to be let to go because she wanted to go back to that place as soon as she could. So that's a glimpse of what you see and what you feel. It's nothing but love and peace. And you really won't feel the time there. Time, it doesn't really matter there. For example, like 1 year here for us is 5 years for our loved ones that have passed already. So that's why they say, I'll see you soon, we'll be together soon, because to them it is soon. To them it's just a matter of a couple years maybe sometimes. So when you know what your loved one's going to feel, and again, I can't stress this enough, you have to listen to the book because they get really down to the details, and I promise you, it just gives you so much peace of mind knowing that they're going to be all right, that they are okay, and they are with us. A lot of times when we're really close to our loved ones, they stick around to be our guides, our helpers. So it's nice if you believe that, because Dolores explains that if the spirit, if a spirit is hanging out and trying to, communicate with you or just be around you just to give you comfort, and you, example, are saying, devil, go away. Spirit gets tired of trying and they eventually say, oh, whatever, what's the use? They either don't believe in me and they're casting me away as a devil, or they don't hear me and I'm scaring them. So it's just super nice when you start to realize how exactly this world works, this universe works, and how much comfort it would be to just know that your loved ones are so happy and they are in so much peace, and they are with us. They are always with us, and there are signs that they are with us. So if you start to Google signs that your loved one is with you, and you see things that you've experienced, and you want to doubt that, if the signs are there, there's nothing but love and good vibes with that. So there's nothing evil about that. There's nothing to do with the devil when it comes to that. Unfortunately, I hear that a lot, that, oh, you're dealing with devilish things, that's the devil, and it's just like, you know what? All of this happiness I'm feeling, and the feeling of being free from shame, free from regret, and the feeling, I feel even more connected to God now. It's really hard for me not to laugh when someone tells me that I'm with the devil, because the devil doesn't do these good things. And God knows I've been having a lot of great experiences, and I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. So if you think the devil had anything to do with that, I'm sorry for you. But again, you're not going to listen to this information. You're not going to go and get that book until you are ready to hear this information, because I know it's a little difficult to listen to, but there's enough evidence out there. There are enough stories out there. Science is now backing up all these things, that I believe in, and a huge group of people believe in. So it has been, I'm still starting, I'm still trying to learn more information about this, but I've already started practicing and changing a lot of things that I've done in my life. Number one is just, I keep reminding myself that I am in control of my life. I wrote the story of my life. I wrote the book. So yeah, it makes sense that I would toughen myself up by putting me through some rough relationships and some very tough situations, to grow from it and to possibly help somebody else out, because I know I'm not the only one that has felt this way. I have seen young ladies posting on Facebook blogs about how they feel they've messed up. They don't know what to do with their lives. They don't know what career to choose. They're 28 and they still don't have a boyfriend or kids. And it's like, these are just stressors of the world. That's not what we as humans came to Earth for. So you can remove all of those stereotypes or standards of the world and allow yourself to just learn who you are. Figure out who you are. I didn't know who I was until just a year ago, at least. And I'm still learning who I am. And I still feel like I have so much more to learn. And it's so amazing because I'm doing it in a more happier sense. And there's no stressors, there's no pressure. It's just me learning to be me. So, Dolores Cannon, like I said, you can start with the book or maybe just listen to some lectures. Near-death experiences, grab some books of that so that you can start getting more comfortable with the thought of there being something else after death and not necessarily darkness and quiet. What can I say? So for those who are looking for hope, or who feel that their life has just been full of problems and they don't know why, and they feel like giving up because it's hopeless, just remember that you wrote the story of your book and you can change it. So the power of your thoughts and the power of your words is a real thing. And trust me, I've used that for my benefit as well. And I will be having some videos about the stories that I can share about that, where I don't know how the heck I got these things, but I have them. And so just be aware that the power of your thoughts it's a real thing. So if you're tired of a certain situation, then stop talking about it and just start talking about what you want to come in. So example, my problem, I realized I kept saying, I don't want a bad man. I don't want a bad man. I don't want a man who cheats. I don't want a man who lies. I kept using my words to say what I did not want. So it's about saying what you do want. Call it out. Put it out there. It's going to come to you if you truly believe it. And, human beings, we are more powerful than we know. And the sooner you find out, the sooner your life starts to change, and the sooner things start going your way, and you feel like there is hope. You feel like, yeah, you can stick around on this earth for a little longer. And so, like I said, and I will continue to stress it, don't take my word for it. Grab that book. She explains everything. For all of my SDA listeners, don't be disappointed. I promise you, I am so much closer to God than I have ever been. I'm not lost. I am so happy. And I still pray to God. I still thank God every day. And I hope you find some benefit in this video. I hope you find a benefit in the books. But I know that once you're ready, you'll do it. And once you listen to the first book, you're going to start looking for more, and life will change. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys. If you have any questions, please comment below. And go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can get alerted every time I get some new videos out. I do have some cool, interesting stories coming up. So stay tuned, and we'll talk soon. Bye.